We are a decentralized, non-violent, resistance movement which seeks to restore the rule of law and fight back against the organized criminal class. 0.1% of the population has consolidated wealth in unprecedented fashion and launched an all-out economic war against 99.9% of the population. We are not affiliated with either wing of the two-party oligarchy. We seek an end to the corrupted two-party system by ending the campaign finance and lobbying racket. Above all, we aim to break up the global banking cartel centered at the Federal Reserve, the International Monetary Fund, Bank of International Settlements and World Bank. We demand the primary dealers within the Federal Reserve banking system be broken up and held accountable for rigging markets and destroying the global economy, effective immediately. As a first sign of good faith, we demand Ben Bernanke step down as Federal Reserve Chairman until our demands are met and a rule of law is restored. We will engage in a relentless campaign of nonviolent, peaceful, civil disobedience. In our next communication, we will announce Operation Empire State Rebellion. Operation Empire State Rebellion. Expect us.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Okay, I'm in Chicago right now. Illinois. I'm standing right in front of across the street from the Federal Bank, or Federal Reserve, and I don't see anybody here. No, there's no other members here. There's nothing going on here. So I'm pretty much just waiting, and then I can show you guys, but I don't think there's anything here. You know, there was police earlier, but they're gone now. Either that or they're inside. But I'll show you a quick video of the Federal Reserve right here in Chicago.
And progressive governor of New Jersey, Woodrow Wilson is intent on solving America's domestic problems by eliminating what he considers special privilege and by curbing the power of the monopolies. He calls his program The New Freedom.
The Federal Reserve is a cartel made up of the major banks in America, and they are the ones that are running the show, not the federal government.
Operation Empire State Rebellion is enacted. We are under siege by the banks and their cohorts. We are entrapped in modes of debt, and they have turned our government against us. Democracy and liberty erode in the face of their choleric assault. Thus it seems that there is no way to break the insidious monster that slowly strangles our economy, throwing millions into poverty and desperation. Class and money are irrelevant in the eyes of eternity. Stand up for your brothers and sisters who have no voice. Stand up for those who are being silenced. On March 28, we will place the great instrument of those who assault liberty, the Federal Reserve, under siege. To do this, the people must rise. Knowledge is power. On March 28th, join the alliance of Americans who aim to seize the control of money from a few dominant men and place it back under the watchful eyes of democracy. Protest at your nearest federal bank location, conveniently located in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Dallas, Atlanta, Kansas City, Chicago, Minneapolis, San Francisco, and Cleveland. A brave patriot named Thomas Jefferson once wrote, "The spirit of resistance to government is so valuable on certain occasions that I wish it to always be kept alive." Americans, the spirit of resistance has faded. Awaken your souls and make our nation proud and free once again. This is Operation Empire State Rebellion. This is anonymous. You are anonymous. We are Legion. Expect us.
Not investment houses, just commercial banks alone, made some $700 billion in profit. A lot of money. Now, as a result of the greed, recklessness, perhaps illegal behavior on the part of a relatively of Wall Street, they are coming to the taxpayers for huge bailouts, and we have no idea how much that's going to end up costing. These guys made unbelievable sums of money. Then through their greed and recklessness, they created a terrible crisis, and now we have to bail them out. Where did all their profits go?
So who got the money?
To financial institutions in Europe and other countries.
Which ones?
I don't know.
$500 billion and you don't know who got the money?
The loan went to the loans go to the central banks, and they then put them out to their institutions to try to bring down short-term interest rates in dollar markets around the world.
Well, let's start with which central banks got the money.
There are 14 of them, which are listed I'm sure they're listed in here somewhere.
Many, again, of my constituents, I think people all over this country, are wondering why the CEOs of these large financial institutions who have been extremely greedy, reckless, and maybe have engaged in illegal behavior have not been fired, so that we can work with people who want to really reform the system. Should the CEOs of the financial institutions that have led us into this deep, deep recession be fired?
Well, pay and job tenure should depend on performance, and those which have performed poorly should lose their jobs.
Any of them who have been...
Many have lost their jobs.
Most of them, of the major guys, are still holding their positions.
This spirit of greed to continue to drive us into economic holes. How long? Not long. Let this reverberate from Main Street to Wall Street. This day, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, we will be able to speed up that day when all God's children, blacks and whites, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, Buddhists, Hindus and Muslims will be able to join hands and say, we are free from economic shackles, free from lining your pockets, free from predatory lending. I stand here with my colleague and we join hands and say, enough is enough.
I'm here along with somebody else, and this is the Federal Reserve. We're anonymous. I'm the only one here. No other protesters at all. So I just want to make that clear. I am anonymous. Okay. Hi, my name is Anonymous Supernova, or you can just call me Anon Supernova. And I am in Chicago today. I am in Chicago today to inform the public that there is a central banking system that is taking control of America. So I'm here to spread the message, and I am the only person. protester that was here today, so thank you all for your support. Let me just show you the work right here. I got the work right.
Your big hands that will lift the finger, a dead ringer for an angry figure. Mr. Big Shot, your big eyes can't see past yourself. It's your high
This is the message that I
on the shelf. Your big ears never listen to a word that's said. That's why I'm talking to the birds instead. Your big words mean nothing. You are nothing. Your big feet keep tripping like
TV news confuses people, but on a basic level, based on their own direct personal experience, on the most important level, the American people know the score. We know we've been robbed. We know our future has gone up in flames. And we know the global bankers are the people who've done this to us. We know that our government and both political parties have been bought off and don't represent us. I talk to people across the political spectrum, okay? Veterans who sacrificed the most, people in law enforcement, people who are currently serving in the military. They know the score. They know what's going on here at home. They see that their families are desperately struggling, buried in debt they will never get out of, with dire prospects. Meanwhile, Wall Street fat cats are taking our tax dollars and giving it to themselves as all-time record-breaking bonuses. I mean, everyone knows our country has been taken over by a global banking cartel. You know, people swear an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They don't swear an oath to protect global bankers.
Here we are again. There's not very many people coming through. Today, the whole time, there really wasn't anybody here protesting alongside me. I printed out some flyers, a couple reasons why the Federal Reserve is bad, and an anonymous flyer about the organization, or decentralized movement, I should say, collective really, of activists around the United States. And I do know that in New York that they were protesting, but here's Chicago, and this is the Federal Reserve of Chicago, and there have not been others here today, except me. I'm pretty sure there might have been somebody, but I didn't see them, so. But there's the Federal Reserve. I wasn't gonna go block it. That's not right. I'm just here to inform people about what Anonymous is. And I am practicing my First Amendment right. All right, everybody. I did my best today to try to inform the public about the banking cartel and the bank that's responsible, the Federal Reserve. I handed out a few flyers, not too many. People didn't really care too much. I was the only one here today, and I just want to let that be known. I came, I protested. I was here at 10:30 a.m. and I stayed all the way till about 8 o'clock. So, see you guys.